What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for VH1's Family Reunion Love and Hip Hop Edition, Season 2, Episode number 3. And the episode was titled, let's see, They Found Love in Paradise. Nope, They Found Love in a Hopeless Place, you guys. That's the name of the episode. I don't know who found love in a hopeless place, but hey, we shall definitely discuss it. So, before we go ahead and jump into the review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, then I'm gonna need you guys to do me a big solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me that favor by liking this video, liking the video, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on the notification bell button on, you guys, and sharing the video. And with that, you guys, with that out the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss VH1's Family Reunion Love and Hip Hop Edition. That's the name of the title. I just had to think about it. All right, you guys. So in the last episode, you guys remember that they were having the field day, that booby setup, right? And you guys remember that Safari rode up on his dirt bike. So we're 3 episodes in, and we just got Safari here, right? But we still haven't gotten, Stevie J. But that's neither here nor there, right? You guys remember Erica was so, had to go to the side and had to be consoled by Shekinah, because she just needed to decompress, just to kind of get her bearings together. Although you and your husband flew out to San Diego together, you and your husband were together before you guys came here, but okay, Erica. And that's my issue with Eric and Safari. With Eric and Safari, they definitely give me the notion that they are doing the Kirk and Rashida route. They're doing the Clutch and Pearls and Little Lyric route. If you guys don't know who Clutch and Pearls is A1. They're giving me those vibes that they'll do anything to stay on television, and they will sacrifice their marriage in the process, right? So Safari says, he has not saw Erica in about a week or two, right? It was just basically them swapping the babies, right? I'm gonna come back to that because he said he hadn't saw her in about a week or two, right? But I'm gonna come back to something else he said later in the episode, right? So they still playing their field day, and I really, honestly wanted Zelle to lose that crop top. It looked a mess. So then we see Safari. So Safari is talking to Mimi, right? And Safari is talking about how he's in a weird headspace with the situation between he and Erica at this point, right? And Mimi is talking about, it was the same thing with her and Stevie, right? But and we know how disrespectful Stevie was with Mimi. And they had to get to a place where they could be co-parents for baby Eva, right? Well, she's not a baby anymore. They had to get to the point where they can be co-parents for Eva, right? And that's what she tells Safari, that you and Erica, you guys have to sit down, you have to be on one accord. And you guys can't be going back and forth with each other, yelling at each other, cussing at each other. And I think the person who probably does the most yelling and cursing is Erica. We know how Erica is. We know that mouth. So we know it's probably Erica who probably takes things to 1,000, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and say Safari is completely blameless, because he's not. The thing with Safari and Erica is, Safari is a man child. Erica is this hothead, right? Erica's a hothead, and she pops off, she snaps off, whatever you want to say. Safari is a man child, so I'm pretty positive he does things that are so aggravating as hell, and Erica reacts to him, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and put all the blame on her. Can't do that, right? But they both have to put in the work, right? So then we see Erica. So Erica was doing her interview with the producers, and Safari walks up. She's like, I'm doing my interview with them. Can I finish my interview? So he wanted to talk to her, and he's saying, I don't know this Erica. And she says, I don't know this Safari either. So what are you talking about? But she says, when it comes down to me and you, we need to focus solely on our kids. Which I agree with that, you guys. If you guys are not going to be in a marriage, focus on your kids. But like I said, definitely Erica and Safari are now giving me the new Kirk and Rashida. For the love of God, I just hope they don't pull what Kirk and Rashida pulled on us with that whole Jasmine storyline. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. Please do not do that. Don't do that, because I was over Kirk and Rashida. I was over Kirk. Honestly, I was over Kirk and Rashida's storyline that season where she was pregnant with little Carter, and he said, "What are rappers known for?" So I need a DNA test, Rashida. For what? So we're gonna pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So then everyone heads back to the resort, right? So we see Amina and Uncle Fatso talking to each other, right? And they're having a conversation. The way that they're talking to each other, you would literally think that you would think that something did happen between Amina and Uncle Fatso. You would think that something happened. But Amina keeps saying that nothing happened, right? Amina's whole thing is that, they were out there in LA, wherever the Super Bowl was, and I forget which year it was. It might have been Super Bowl 2019. Because the show, or it could have been 2018, I don't know. Because I know that the episode, season 10, aired in 2020. But it could have been 2019. It might have been 2019, whenever. But you guys remember she stayed with him, right? So Amina's whole thing is that, she and Cisco never had sex with each other, right? They just kind of made out with each other, right? So Cisco believes that Amina, she was outside of his outside of his room, right, doing her yoga, and he could see, the black of her ass. He said this, not me. And he feels that, she was enticing him. If you feel like she's enticing you, why did you then come out on to your balcony and start a little, a Chippendale striptease? Questions that need an answer. Why would you do that? If you feel she's enticing you, don't entertain her. But hey, he did anyways, right? But Amina's like, why would I do that? Like, I'm not with Peter. I don't want to be with Peter. So, no, I definitely didn't come out there to entice you or do anything of the sorts. Because he feels that she's doing this to get back at Peter. For what? What is she getting back at Peter for? But hey, it is what it is. Let me know if y'all believe that. I don't even think Amina wants Peter at this point. Like, I would hope not. But you know what I do wonder though? Not that I really wonder, but I just, for the sake of Amina and Tara, what is his pain like? Like, because the fact that they run back to that, they've gone back to him more than once. Peter, in his old age, must still be able to get it up, and it must be some good sex, because Amina and Tara at one point, when Amina slapped was it a driver's license or whatever she slapped down on the table, I was his wife, and ain't nothing gonna change that. Whop! When Tara slapped the shit out of her. And then, did she say nothing gonna change that? Or ain't nothing fake about that? Ain't nothing fake about that. And when Tara got up, she said pop and slapped her across that face. I will never forget that scene. All right, you guys. So let's keep on. So then we see Erica and Safari, right? So Erica and Safari, actually it was Mimi and Erica at one point, but then Safari came over, or it could have been Safari and Erica were talking and Mimi came over. Suffice it to say, it was Safari, Erica, and Mimi, right? So they were talking, right? And they discussed Safari's birthday. We're going to discuss that a little bit later too, right? Because the story that was in the blogs, you guys remember the story that was in the blogs, that Safari was in Miami, Safari was in Jamaica, right? You remember those stories that were all over the blogs when Erica went into labor. You guys remember she went into labor because she saw her husband was doing all this stuff on social media, right? You guys remember Safari wasn't there when she gave birth to the child, right? Keep that in your memory banks. Keep that in your memory banks, right? So you guys also remember the situation with Bobby, right? The situation that Bobby. So it was Bobby. We'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. So Bobby, remember, Bobby and his homegirl, Kaylin, wasn't it whatever girl that Rich was with? Bobby and his homegirl went to Safari's party, and Safari was trying to talk to the girl. Erica found out. You guys remember after that, Erica filed for divorce. I don't believe none of this shit that they saying at this point, right? So Safari is basically playing in Erica's face, like, that shit ain't true. Like, and actually thinking back to it now, I don't even know if he was playing or not. I just don't know. I don't know if they forgot what their storylines were or what, or they just said, fuck it, we're tired. I don't know, right? Speaking of Erica, right? Why did old man rubbing pennies to the side? He's like, once they finish, maybe me and Eric, like, no, she doesn't want you. Your face looks like a melted ass plastic bag. Your face looks like a melted plastic bag. Your face is like a novelty, one of those plastic novelty gifts that they sell. The plastic shit and all that kind of stuff, the plastic throw up. His face looks like melted plastic. Just looks like melted plastic. Looks like melted plastic. So quick scene that didn't really amount to anything. I just don't understand it. Brooke. So Brooke and Booby were having a conversation, right? They were talking about him and Sin. I was like, Brooke, why in the hell why are you worried about who he's with? And Booby was like, I know people are gonna be like, that, she and Cheap Brooke being a little too personal, but Brooke is my homegirl, so I don't see it that way. Well, Booby, if you don't see it that way, I do. Brooke was being a little bit too intrusive. Like, she was asking questions. I'm like, girl, that ain't got nothing to do with you. Worry about your husband that you said cheated on you when you were pregnant with your daughter. Worry about that, Brooke. And y'all know, I actually love me some Brooke Valentine. It's about to be a what? Girl fight? Like, that's my shit. No shade to Brooke. No shade to Brooke. Is that her only single? Because that is the only Brooke Valentine song that I know. No shade to Brooke whatsoever, but that is literally her only song that I do know. But I know she probably still gets money from it because people still play it. I know they play it on Bad Girls Club. I know people. So I know Brooke gets some money. So I'm not hating. I'm just wondering, is that her only song? I'm going to have to go look it up. And see if Brooke has any more songs after this is over with. All right, you guys, so we're going to wrap up the episode. All right, you guys, so you remember I told you guys the name of the title was They Found Love in a Hopeless Place. I hope they don't mean that was Eric and Safari, because this Eric episode literally centered around Eric and Safari. The whole episode was Eric and Safari, right? So once again, we are with Eric and Safari, right? So you guys remember I kept telling you, store things in your memory banks, right? So we're about to pull it, we're about to open that book up and we're about to read from it again, right? You guys remember the story about Safari, Erica, and the baby, right? And you guys remember the baby was born before Safari's birthday. Little legend. He was born, I think he was born the week before Safari's birthday. Safari's birthday, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Safari's birthday is July 4th. Because I know, I remember this because Safari's birthday is just a few weeks before my birthday. But I think Safari's birthday is July 4th or the 5th, right? And I think Erica had the baby the end of June, right? You guys remember the story. Safari was not in the hospital room when Erica gave him birth to the baby, right? You guys remember they had that whole big debacle about, she didn't want him in the room. Didn't she allegedly legally have it where he couldn't be in the room? I think I'm remembering that. Then you guys remember he was in Jamaica. He was in Miami celebrating his birthday. Thing is, we saw videos of him in Jamaica. We saw videos of him in Miami, right? We even saw him make an appearance on Love and Hip Hop Miami talking to Trick Dollars, right? So, okay. Well, he says he was never in Miami. He was always there with Erica when she gave birth to he was there with her. And his mother was there, right? You guys also remember earlier in the episode, he said that he ain't saw Erica in 2 weeks, right? He has not saw Erica in the last 2 weeks, a week or two, but they figured things out for the kids. But this is when they were getting ready for the 70s party, which is not Tara, but well, hell, it might as well be Tara, Peter, and Amina's divorce party because they're sister wives. So he's telling the guys that, when Erica says that he abandoned her, he's never abandoned her. He's always been there. I'm like, oh. Again, did y'all literally forget your fucking storyline? That's my question. Did y'all literally forget the storyline? Because none of this is adding up. Honestly, I don't care, but it's just not adding up, at all. Did y'all forget your storyline? Did you forget the storyline? I'm just asking that question because it feels to me like Erica and Safari have forgotten what the storyline is. But hey, we're gonna go on, right? So, they had the 70s party. It was a hit, right? Because then we see Mimi and Jonathan, right? They're talking. And Mimi and Jonathan are having a conversation about, she's talking about, how she has her peace. She's good. She don't want nobody to come in and disrupt her peace. I understand that completely, right? But then, Mimi starts talking about, actually Jonathan did. Jonathan was talking about the fact that, the whole situation with Zelle in the last episode. You guys remember when Zelle said that they were too gay for him, right? And Mimi told him, like, that's that's something that you don't have to deal with, right? Don't worry about that, because he's dealing with something, right? He told Erica he wishes he was straight and that he had a wife and kids, right? That's that internalized homophobia for him, right? I don't know if he can come to grips with who he is or whatnot, but it is what it is, right? When Rich came out there with that whatever was on his that 70s get up on, I'm like, oh God, you look terrible. Jesus. So then Safari, he went to talk to Erica, right? And the conversation was calm. And then she says to him, maybe they need to take the relationship off the table, right? He says, but I don't want to lose you. Then he starts crying. Then she starts crying. Then they hug. I'm like, oh my God, this can't be real. This can't be real, you guys. I don't know if maybe that was their storyline, to come onto the show, have this issue with each other, and ultimately come out and say, Safari was there when I gave birth to the kid, to the baby. He's been there, and then he's realized the error in his ways, and now he wants to work on his family. I don't know. I really don't know, but hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys are not subscribed, oh God, like the video, you guys. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your notifications on. Share the video, you guys. And until the next one, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye.